Now, before we get into this video, what I want you to think about is who is your all-time favourite non-Liverpool player, because I want you to tell me in the comments section, because that'll make interesting reading, I think, as the day progresses. This video is going to be about Paul Gascoigne and how he could have signed for Liverpool, right? Now, this is going back to, like, you know, my days, you know, when I was a teenager, do you know what I mean? Like 1988, I'd have been 14. 1989, probably the best year of my life, you know, when I was 15. Loved it. What a great year that was. Just some great music and stuff, and some great girls as well, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so Gazza could have played for Liverpool, and at the time, there was, you know, a lot of speculation about could he go there, might he go there, could he have gone to United? He obviously went to Tottenham. And it's like one of those things, isn't it? Like, the fellas will be able to relate to this. Sorry, girls, I don't know if it applies to you. I can't speak from a girl's point. Well, I'm sure some girls have looked around before and thought, I'd love to ride him all night long. And I don't mean me. I mean, obviously. But what I mean is, from a guy's perspective, you know, when you're in a nightclub, you think, oh, I fancy the ass. I wouldn't mind giving that a right good rogering, right? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But you don't, you know, it never happens. And she ends up with another fella later in life. And you always think about what could have been. Well, I'll tell you right now, there's not one woman in the world that I would like to have had a good rogering with, right, over Paul Gascoigne coming to Liverpool. I would love Gazza to play for Liverpool. He's one of them that just got away, the one that got away. Anyway, he's been talking about it. I'm only going to focus on his quotes. Now, what you've got to remember is Gazza, you know, he doesn't speak the greatest, does he, of clarity, all right? I was sitting with my dad and the phone went and it was Kenny Dalglish first. I said, Dad, it's Kenny Dalglish. And he said, I want you to sign for Liverpool. So I spoke to him for half an hour and I put the phone down and I said, Dad, to be honest, I did not understand a word he said. Then Sir Alex called us, boo, and said, look, we want to sign you. I said, okay, I'll sign when I come back from holiday. So I told my dad I'm going to Old Trafford, Man United. And then 2 days later, the phone went and it was to sign for Tottenham. I went, look, I'm going to sign for Man United. I said, Dad, it's Tottenham. And he said, tell him to fuck off. You're going to sign for Man United. So I said, my dad says, fuck off, I'm going to Man United. And then the bloke on the phone said, tell your dad we'll give him £120,000. And Dad replied, what are you waiting for then, son? That's it. Can't get more honest than that, can you? You can't get more honest than that. Ah, man, Gazza. I love Gazza. When I was 15, man, I had my hair like Gazza and everything, all blonde thing. It's in World Cup, wasn't it? Italian night and all that. You know, and the tears and everything. And that goal against Scotland, you know what I mean? I had the pleasure of meeting him once when I was on the lash. And that won't surprise you. Guess who else was there? No, he wasn't on the lash officially. Gazza, yeah. Oh, I don't know. This video probably won't be of much interest to those of you that are a bit younger than that. But, you know, Gazza was an outstanding player. I'm sure you don't need telling that, no matter what your age is. But if you can imagine, if you're a young Liverpool supporter and there's one player out there in the world that you really admire and you'd love to see at Liverpool and always hoped and prayed that it would happen, well, that's what it was like with Gazza for me as a kid. You know, I was like, oh, I hope he comes to Liverpool, hope he comes to Liverpool. Never happened. And then obviously later in life, you know, even as during my time with Cop Talk over the last 26 years, you know, that it's come up in conversations about Gazza and Liverpool, and there you have, you know, like some more commentary on it. And I just like the way he's saying there. But it was just weird, wasn't it, jumping from club to club. All right, yeah, all right, no. Tell your dad we'll give him 120k. All right, his dad says, what are you waiting for? We're off. You got to remember that it's not like today, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, probably that was, you know, back then that would have been an exceptionally amount. That would have been a lot of fucking money. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that, you know, that generation really missed out on the, you know, the huge sums of money that Premier League players get today. When you think of the likes of John Barnes, my favourite Liverpool player, you can tell me your favourite all-time Liverpool player as well if you want. Tell me both, all-time Liverpool, all-time non-Liverpool. You think about John Barnes and Ian Rush, that they missed out on the zillions and billions and trillions, you know what I mean, that they would have got during the Premier League days. It's sad when you think about it. I remember a newspaper report when I was at school. I read the Daily Mirror every day, Labour newspaper, because I was brought up in that environment. And I remember the back page being about John Barnes' contract negotiations. I'd love to find the actual article. It was definitely the Mirror newspaper. And it was a little, like, you know that bit at the bottom of the page, or the back page, you do like a little rectangle at the bottom. See how my memory, you can remember stuff like that, but I can't remember something from fucking yesterday. And I think it was a big picture of John Barnes that took up the back page, and it was all to do with his contract. And I don't know whether it was offered or wanted, but it said £5,000 a week. That's what it said, and it was it must have been. It was probably around 1990, something like that, because I left school in 91. And I even know what lesson it was in. I was in religious education, RE, with the headmaster. I can remember the fucking classroom, who was there, the layout of the back page of the paper, and that small bit. Why can I remember that little bit at the bottom about John Barnes and £5,000 a week contract negotiations? Yet I couldn't tell you who we spoke about on a stream yesterday. Or a video. If you said to me, name one video you've done today, I ain't got a clue. Is that just old age? Or what? I do worry about my memory, to be honest with you. I do worry about my memory, but I always, I thought, should I go and tell the doctor and that, but what can I do for you? They can't do out for you if your memory is going, can they? I don't know. Maybe I just don't want to fucking remember a lot of things. Or maybe there's just so much stuff, that we talk about that it's impossible to remember everything. But I remember that newspaper thing. John Barnes, Gaza, that was when football was fucking football. But then I'm starting to sound like my granddad or something like that, do you know what I mean? Because people older than me would bang on about football in the 60s or something. And I think if you're a young pup, you can't relate to it like we're talking about, silly old bastard, you know what I mean? But you imagine football without all them sponsorship deals and all them fancy coloured football boots, not getting ripped off, having to pay a fortune to watch it all on television, although you couldn't fucking watch any football back then, to be honest with you, not much anyway. But the commentary, everything just had such a good vibe about it. It was good. It was good. Premier League killed it, to be honest. But we're going into a different thing there. Anyway, so Gaza talking about Liverpool and Kenny Dalglish. I like the bit where he said I couldn't understand a word he fucking said. It's fucking brilliant. I love old stuff like that. You've got to let me have my little flashbacks occasionally, guys. You know what I'm saying? All right, if you appreciate the video, please give me a thumbs up. Please drop me a comment, your all-time favourite Liverpool player and all-time favourite non-Liverpool player, and why. And if you want to buy me a beer or a coffee, hit the super thanks, read the video description, get on the newsletter. That's more important than anything. And you'll see why soon. All right, guys, cheers.